Deep within an enchanted wood nestled between whispering pines and ancient oaks stood a well of unimaginable power. Its waters were said to grant any wish, but with a peculiar twist, for the well had a mischievous nature, a jester, if you will, and it twisted every wish it granted into a hilarious adventure. Now, the well was hidden from most, known only to a select few who dared venture into the heart of the whispering wood. One such person was a young lad named Finn, a boy with a heart full of dreams and pockets full of pebbles. Finn lived in a small village on the edge of the whispering wood. It was a simple life, peaceful and predictable, which is why he dreamed of something more, something exciting, something extraordinary. One day, while skipping through the village square, Finn spotted a weathered parchment fluttering in the wind. He retrieved it, unfurled it, and began to read. The message was a riddle leading him to the heart of the whispering wood where a wondrous well awaited. Intrigued and hopeful, Finn decided to follow the riddle's clues. He ventured into the dense woods, the air growing cooler and the sunlight struggling to penetrate the thick canopy above. As the trees grew denser, the sound of birdsong faded into an eerie silence. Finally, pushing aside a curtain of vines, Finn found himself before a clearing. And there in the center sat an ancient well, its surface shimmering like a sheet of polished silver. This had to be the magical well his grandmother had spoken of in hushed whispers around the fire. As he approached the well, its surface rippled, and a voice ancient and playful echoed from its depths. "Well met, young one. You have found the whispering well of wishes. Ask, and you shall receive," it boomed. Overjoyed, Finn wasted no time. "I want to be a knight, Sir Galahad the Brave," he proclaimed, holding out his hands like he was gripping a sword. The water in the well began to swirl, and in a flash, Finn found himself transformed. But not into the valiant knight he had envisioned. Oh no. He was now dressed in the brightest pink pajamas, complete with bunny ears on his head, not exactly what he had in mind. Confused and slightly embarrassed, Finn looked down at his new attire. Then he noticed a small, intricately carved wooden box at his feet. Curiosity piqued. He opened it, and inside he found a pair of plush bunny slippers. And as he slipped them on, he felt an unexpected surge of comfort and warmth. From deep within the well, the voice boomed with laughter. "Fear not, young Sir Galahad, for your quest awaits. To break the spell and become the hero you desire, you must journey to the land of Nod, where dreams are spun, and make your way to the castle made of clouds. There the Lady Moonbeam resides, and she alone can help you." With that cryptic message, the voice faded, leaving Finn alone in the clearing. Still dressed in his pink pajamas, clutching his wooden sword, and wearing those darn bunny slippers, he set off into the woods, following the path illuminated by the soft glow of fireflies. After walking for what seemed like hours, the trees began to thin, and in the distance, Finn saw a glimmering castle made entirely of clouds. As he approached, the wooden sword in his hand began to feel heavier and heavier, until, with a final lurch, it transformed into a fluffy white pillow. Shaking his head in disbelief, Finn continued toward the castle. Upon reaching the pearly gates, a majestic white rabbit dressed in a velvet smoking jacket greeted him. "Well met, Sir Galahad," he said, tipping his top hat. "I am the White Rabbit, and I have been expecting you." Without waiting for a response, the White Rabbit hopped through an opening in the gates, beckoning for Finn to follow. The interior of the Cloud Castle was even more spectacular than the exterior. Walls shimmered with constellations and soft music filled the air. Suddenly, a beautiful woman with flowing silver hair and a gentle smile appeared before them. "So you bring me the chosen one?" she said, turning to the White Rabbit. "Very well. Show him the way." With a nod, the White Rabbit led Finn to a crystal ball resting on a pedestal. And as he gazed into its depths, he saw not a reflection of himself, but a swirling vortex of colors. "To break the spell and return to your own reality," the Lady Moonbeam said, "you must journey to the land of lost toys and retrieve the Star of Bethlehem. Only that relic holds the power to undo the mischief wrought by the Whispering Well." Without hesitation, Finn nodded his determination. As quickly as he had arrived at the Cloud Castle, Finn found himself back in the Whispering Wood, except now the trees seemed darker, the shadows deeper. The path ahead was shrouded in mist, and Finn could sense danger lurking in the shadows. Pushing forward, he soon found himself in a clearing filled with discarded toys. Broken teddy bears, rusted rocking horses, and forgotten dolls lay scattered about, their eyes blank and lifeless. In the center of the clearing stood a towering oak, its branches gnarled and twisted like the limbs of some grotesque beast. At its base was a hollow, and from within came a faint, mesmerizing hum. The Star of Bethlehem. Without hesitation, Finn moved towards the humming sound, each step taking him deeper into the land of lost toys. The further he ventured, the louder the humming grew, and the air around him crackled with magical energy. Suddenly, from behind a rusted tricycle, a horde of toy soldiers emerged, their buttons gleaming like malevolent eyes. "Halt, intruder," they shouted in unison. "You may not pass." Finn stood his ground, clutching his pillow tightly. He stammered, trying to remember the brave knight he once was. "I am Sir Galahad the Brave, and I must retrieve the Star of Bethlehem." The toy soldiers burst into laughter. "Sir Galahad the Brave," one of them jeered. "You look more like Sir Galahad the Dumpy," they charged, brandishing wooden swords and plastic shields. With a determined yell, Finn swung his pillow, knocking one soldier off his feet. Another rushed forward, and Finn, remembering his knightly training, rolled to the side, narrowly avoiding a blow. One by one he took them on, his bravery growing with each passing moment. Finally, the last soldier fell, collapsing into a heap of plastic and sawdust. Panting from the exertion, Finn turned and hurried to the oak tree, its branches now reaching out to him like welcoming arms. As he touched the rough bark, the humming grew louder still, and from the hollow, the Star of Bethlehem emerged, radiating a soft, gentle light. Clutching the star, Finn raced back to the Whispering Well, its familiar shimmer guiding him through the darkening woods. Upon reaching the clearing, he plunged the star into the well's depths. Instantly, the well erupted in a shower of sparks, and the surrounding trees burst into bloom, their branches laden with shimmering stars. When the light subsided, Finn looked down to see that he was no longer in his pajamas, but back in his everyday clothes. He grinned, realizing that the Whispering Well had granted his original wish, sending him on a wild goose chase for a knight's armor, albeit with a comically absurd twist. As the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, Finn stood before the Whispering Well, no longer a bumbling knight, but a hero of his own tale. The well, with its mischievous grin, had once again played its tricks, reminding all who heard his story that even the greatest adventures could start with the smallest of wishes. And with that, Finn turned and walked away from the Whispering Well, his heart brimming with the joy of 1,000 adventures yet to come. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the clearing where the Whispering Well lay hidden slowly faded from view, becoming nothing more than a whisper in the ancient wood. Yet the tale of Finn and the well echoed throughout the land, carried on the winds and whispered by the trees, a reminder that magic lived not just in fairy tales, but in every twist and turn of life itself. And so, the legend of the Whispering Well of Wishes, with its power to grant wishes and its penchant for twisting them into hilariously chaotic adventures, continued to be told around hearths and campfires, keeping alive the memory of Finn's extraordinary escapade.